Hi, Simon here. Low maintenance garden in June. Actually did very little during the last month to maintain the garden. We pulled out some bindweed and we pulled out some cleavers and we've removed one or two stinging nettles that are close to the path. But apart from that, we've just let it kind of do its thing, and that's the beauty. Now, I appreciate that this garden is mature, and we're going to put together a kind of video soon of a bit of a kind of slideshow history of the garden from where we originally designed it to where it is now, and kind of include some timings. But here we go. We're going to have a wander around in June, and as ever, let us know what you think. If you enjoy the program, then subscribe, get involved. That would be fantastic. But let's go and have a wander around and see what we can see. Okay, come with me. You probably just saw Sparrow leaving the nest box. And one of the wonderful things about giving animals homes is that you see them up close, coming in and coming out. And June's been a fantastic month for watching birds that have fledged, and parents and adults feeding the little ones, and the sparrows are such a source of joy to us. So it's wonderful to see a nest box that we put up being used. One of the things about a nest box is that you need to make sure it faces the right way. Just as an example, if it was facing north with the north wind coming in the front door, you wouldn't want to be there, and nor do they. So we have sparrows nesting in our nest box, and that's just fantastic. So where should we start? Let's start here, and I'm just going to put the water feature on. But here we've got honeysuckle, which is starting to come to life, and we have got so much honeysuckle in our garden this year. The scent is just something else. Not sure what else, but something else. As you come round past one of our roses, you'll see that across the back of our garden there is honeysuckle buds in there, probably hundreds even. I've never ever known the honeysuckle to flower the way that it's starting to do this year in our garden. Honeysuckle is fantastic because it loves shady places. You quite often find it in sunken piles when you're in the countryside, and on a calm, still day in June generally, that scent will blow your mind, as it's doing to me right now. If we look in this same bed, as I said, we've got the roses. They are budding up nicely. And down here, it's a shame it's over. Alliums tend to come up for a week, 10 days and go. But they quite often are very kind of tall, heavy, so they fall over. But what I love here is the fact that the honeysuckle has actually twined the leaves of 3 together and giveth them that extra strength. Fantastic. And if we come up here, we've got hollyhocks. Now hollyhocks, like foxgloves, are best left where they plant or seed themselves. I didn't plant these. I certainly wouldn't have planted them this close to the path or along the edge. Excuse me. But they will give us the most amazingly fantastic flowers later in the year. These are the single ones. I'll talk more about those probably in July. Moving forwards, again, we've got some raspberries here. They will start giving us fruits soon. There's nothing much more fun than coming out and picking raspberries with the grandchildren. At the back here, you can see there's a rose starting to bud up and come up in flower. Again, kind of mixed in with the honeysuckle, which is fantastic. Viburnum's a bit quiet this time of year, as is the Mahonia. Most of the plants in and around the pond are kind of green. If you see here, look, there is an acer. There's the remains of the bluebells. You can see there's a white allium in the distance. But this has always been a lovely spot to just enjoy the garden. You see hawthorn here next to the beach. Hawthorns actually all came from a garden we designed a while ago, and we just bought one or two too many. So as usual, they actually went into this garden. There's the allium, look. See all those hundreds of seed heads, flower buds, all in that one stem. They come from bulbs, they're lovely. And we have here on the obelisk a rose. I always call this the Miss Havisham rose. It's got that kind of faded pink beauty. You remember Miss Havisham from Great Expectations? I think she gave that kind of same image. And what's really interesting is it's actually combined here with a matrimony plant. Matrimony plant that's full of thorns. Now there's an interesting thought. Here's the Troisia. You may remember gave us some fantastic colour earlier in the year. As we move around here, there's a Wygelia, which will flower later in the year. I'm looking forward to that. And a Calicarpa, likewise, will flower later in the year. And the Arbelia behind them. There's bracken here. I'm a fan of bracken. Kind of love that prehistoric feel to it. Just keep it contained. There's some flowers there of Acanthus mollis. It's a big plant, but I kind of like them. They wander around the garden as well, so I end up taking up as many as I leave. But they've got some amazing flowers. Wait till July. They will be fantastic. Again, at the back we have Buddleia. And here we have Salvia, pot lips Salvia. Now they're amazing. They flower from June almost round to December most years. They start off with these beautiful red flowers, and then as the year progresses they go red and white, and later in the year they'll go white completely as well, which is kind of bizarre. If you come round you can see the jasmine is full of new growth, and we have another fantastic tea rose. Beautiful purple. Enjoy that. Behind that again, more hollyhocks. There's our apple tree, and you can see in the back there, look, the hebes are just starting to come into flower. They'll be magnificent shortly, the buddleia behind them. If we come up here, we can actually see the salvia. Now, sorry, Cyringa. Cyringa is a form of lilac. This one was here when I moved in. It was fantastic. There was so much of it, and it hung majestically like waterfalls, like droplets of water. It was amazing. But unfortunately, for whatever reason, it died back. So we cut it right down to its root and then forgot about it for maybe 2 or 3 years. And then it grew back. And it's just as beautiful as it was. Absolutely love it. They're kind of almost rose-like, the flowers, but they're quite clearly not. We come down, Solomon's seal is still doing its thing, Cotoneasters. And we've got a Fatsia Japonica, which has all of a sudden started standing up again and going, hey, look at me, I'm pretty amazing. And do you know what? It's absolutely right, it is. You can come round, we've got the statue of the eagle, we have the apple tree. Sycamore and ash in full leaf now. We're going to need to give them a trim, I think, next year. Star jasmine filling itself out, that'll be in flower soon. And you may remember this clematis, the Italian leather plant, is starting to fill out again. We had to cut a lot of it back because a lot of it died off. Hasn't been as fantastic this year, but the flowers are still beautiful. Regular jasmine at the back, and the Virginia creeper is starting to come to life. We'll need to keep on top of that because it's a bit excitable and it's a bit vigorous, but you know what, I still love it. Especially when they change colour in the autumn before the leaves drop off, just like our trees. And that brings us again full circle. And the sparrow box in the shade of the beech tree.
you go.